In this video, we're going to be making a representative model of how clouds form with this jar, and we'll explain the science behind the formation of clouds. Let's go.
In this experiment, we'll be using a glass jar with a lid, 1 cup of hot boiling water, a match, 3 to 5 cubes of ice, and black paper.
It's time to make the clouds. Here's how you make it. Pour 1 cup of boiling water into the glass jar. Then, light a match, hold it in the jar for a few seconds to allow smoke to enter the jar, and then put the lid of the jar back on once you remove the match. Make sure to be careful not to burn your fingers and release the match as soon as you feel that your fingers are hot. We already did this, but after you put the lid of the jar back on, make sure to put a few pieces of ice on the lid. Then, you just gotta wait to see the clouds form. Especially in this clip, you can see that as soon as I release the match, the clouds quickly start to form. Once you're satisfied with your clouds, you can just take the lid off and watch the clouds flow away.
So how are clouds formed? The short answer to this is clouds are created when water vapor turns into liquid water droplets, and these droplets form tiny particles that form into the air. And the formation of clouds take place after evaporation of water vapor, and then when it condenses into the clouds and attaches itself to many particles into the air. And when billions of water droplets come together, they form a cloud. When we think of clouds, we usually think of high in the sky. Also, there can be clouds on the ground level as well, and this is known as fog. And if you ever walk through fog, you're also walking through a cloud.
The way that clouds form in the jar is similar to the way in which actual clouds form. Some of the warm water that was initially poured into the jar was evaporated, meaning that some of the warm water turned into water vapor, which is water in its gaseous state. These water vapor, because they're less dense than the surrounding liquid water, escapes the water and flows into the empty part of the jar. The water vapor then cool after they rise to the top because of the ice on top of the jar, which turns them back from gas to liquid, and this process is called condensation. These liquid water particles are formed on the tiny floating particles of smoke. And multiple of these droplets of water are attached on the particles, forming the clouds that we see in the jar. As the water vapor rises to the top and touches the lid, it cools, so it forms condensations, which are heavier than the water vapor, so it falls back down. So you can see that this forms a circular movement of air around the jar. Thanks for watching our video. We hope you learned something new that can help you at school, and we also encourage you to try these science experiments at home.